Once the ruler of Port Mad Dog, Hagar is now an exile from the Merchant Guild. He was exiled from his Guilder family when his children turned against him during the Long Night of Bullets. It was as the Ash Waste nomad tribes stormed the loading platforms of the settlement that his 2 sons and 3 daughters seized the chance to rid themselves of their father, conspiring to send him and his most loyal followers out into the wastes to deal with the threat. When they returned, Hagar discovered his offspring had laid the raid at his feet, along with plenty of other damning evidence over failing to pay the Imperial House its due, and so in one dark night cycle, Hagar was outcast from his post. Since that time, the disgraced Guilder has been trying to win his position back, as well as seek revenge upon his children. He has even gone so far as to form the Mercator Umbrus, a shadow counterpart of the Mercator Gelt, that deals in the criminal and outland economies of the Underhive. His time as an outcast leader has also made Hagar even meaner, if such a thing were possible, and he has become lean and cruel in his disposition, not to mention an excellent shot with the paired plasma pistols he wears. His followers are likewise well equipped, benefiting from the wealth and connections of their leader, and often wear armour and carry weapons far above the station of such lowly outcast fighters. G'day and welcome back to Wellywood Wargaming. My name is Damon and this is the huge series where I give you a little bite-sized video on the lore and the mechanics around every single hired gun in the game of Necromunda to date. We're in the H's now with Hagar Freelord. Cool little bit of lore there. As a parent I really feel for this guy. But this guy is designed to be an outcast leader. He's 180 credits as an outcast leader, which is actually pretty damn good value, but he's also available to gangs to be hired as well. But this guy really is designed to be an outcast leader, and it's in the kind of rules here that we've got. So let's get into those. There is no model to look at because sadly Forge World hasn't got around to doing many of these. This guy I would really like to see a model of. The artwork is pretty cool with the sort of respirator and the funny hair and the fur coat. I'd like to see a model for this guy at some stage, but I'm not sure whether that's ever going to happen. Anyway, let's look at the stats at the moment. We've got a movement of 4, which is a bit slow. We've got a weapon skill and ballistic skill of 4+, which again, very average there. Strength, toughness 3. Again, average. 2 wounds, which is standard for a leader. Initiative of 4 up and 2 attacks. So not very good so far with the stats. The only things really standing out are the wounds and attacks there. Mental stats are pretty good though. We've got a leadership of 6+, a cool of 5+, which is exceptional, a will of 6+, and an intelligence of 7+. So the stats, they're not amazing, but they're pretty standard. You know, for 180 credits, this guy is actually pretty good value, mainly because of the gear and the rules that he comes with. So what we've got in terms of skills baked into this guy, we've got Overseer. Now Overseer used to be one of the most broken skills in the game. It now requires a leadership check to work, which is pretty good when you've got a leadership of 6 up. It's more often than not going to happen. So we've got Overseer, very nice skill there, with 2 plasma pistols. Now just to point out, plasma pistols I believe are 50 credits each, so that's 100 credits just for the plasma pistols. So this guy, the remaining 80 credits is the rest of this guy pretty much. We've got mesh armor and a respirator, so a decent 5+ save there with a respirator too, which is always nice to have. And then we have a bunch of extra special rules here. So the first one, ex-Guilder Armories. So this is as an outcast leader. This doesn't kick in unless he is your leader in an outcast gang. New gangers, when hired, can buy items with rarity 8 or less from the trading post. Now, normally Hive Scum, have their own house list, and you know they can't usually use stuff outside of that. This means that your gangers, not just your champs and stuff, your gangers can use items no matter what they are up to rarity 8, which is pretty cool actually, because there are a few rarity 8 items that they can now use, giving them access to slightly better weapons and equipment, making your outcasts feel a little bit less scummy, I suppose, and a little bit more elite, or at least up to the other gangs in the game. The other thing is he has well connected, so you can spend a post-battle action to gain credits. Now if he's an outcast leader, you get D6 times 10 credits, which is really, really good. And if he's a bounty hunter or you hired him for your game, you get D3 times 10 instead of D6 times 10. So it kind of counts as fixer. If you have him as a hired gun, and if he's part of your gang, you get a guaranteed D6 times 10 in the game, which is fantastic. Of course, it's worth mentioning that he can't do that post-battle action if he's injured in any way or, you know, incapacitated. So that is your post-battle action. You can't do anything else, so you can't trade or anything, but still more than worth it, I would say. So that's really Hagar Freelord. Not a huge amount more to say on this guy. I'd like to see some conversions for it. I haven't really seen any conversions for this guy out there on Instagram or anything, so I might have to go and search it after this and have a look. Maybe I'll kit bash my own version of it, but 2 plasma pistols is very nice, even if you haven't got the best ballistic skill in the game. Certainly very, very scary up close. And yeah, just a decent, all-round decent kind of guy, and not a bad option for an outcast, a cheap outcast leader, especially with those extras that it comes with. I just feel like he's not particularly fun. Sure, you get a little bit of extra money. Sure, the rest of your Hive scum get nice things. But you're probably better off going with some of the more fun options as an outcast gang, I would say. But it's certainly an option, and it's a cheap one. So why not? Anyway, that's me. Over and out.